The Deer Hunter 1978 is one of the most haunting war dramas ever made, but behind its Oscar-winning legacy lies a collection of bizarre and shocking stories. From dangerous filming conditions to unscripted moments that made it to the screen, the making of this classic was just as intense as the film itself. Today, we're diving into weird facts about The Deer Hunter that will forever change the way you look at this masterpiece. The real Russian roulette. One of the most shocking facts is that the actors really played with guns loaded with live rounds during the Russian roulette scenes, though carefully rigged for safety. Director Michael Cimino wanted the raw fear on their faces to be genuine, and it worked. The actors were terrified, and it shows in their performances. While this method was risky and controversial, it gave the movie a realism that audiences had never seen before. Many critics have since debated whether such danger was necessary, but there's no doubt it contributed to the film's intensity. Christopher Walken was actually slapped. In the film, Christopher Walken's performance during the Russian roulette sequence is unforgettable. But one of his most iconic reactions came from a very real moment. He was actually slapped across the face. Cimino asked co-star Mikhail Kozlov to slap Walken for real, without warning, to heighten the tension. Walken's stunned reaction wasn't acting at all, and Cimino kept the take. This raw realism shocked audiences and earned Walken an Academy Award. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the best performances come from genuine surprise and discomfort on set. Robert De Niro demanded authenticity. Robert De Niro is known for his method acting, and The Deer Hunter was no exception. Before filming, he spent weeks with real steelworkers in Pennsylvania to understand their world. He also demanded his scenes reflect reality, refusing to use stunt doubles for dangerous sequences. Even in the hunting scenes, De Niro insisted on holding a real deer rifle and shooting blanks, rather than relying on props. His intense commitment gave his role a deep authenticity, but it also created tension on set, as not all actors were willing to go to such extremes. The cast didn't see the war footage until shooting. Cimino deliberately kept the cast in the dark about certain harrowing war sequences until cameras were rolling. He wanted their reactions to be as natural and unfiltered as possible. For instance, the chaos of the Vietnam prisoner camp shocked the actors because they had little preparation for what would happen. Cimino's technique blurred the line between acting and reality, forcing the cast into genuine states of fear, confusion, and panic. While controversial, this method added an element of unpredictability that still makes the film stand out decades later. John Cazale's final performance. The Deer Hunter was the last film of John Cazale, who played Stan. Tragically, Cazale was dying of cancer during production. Despite his illness, he gave a strong performance, though he wasn't expected to survive the filming schedule. His fiancée, Meryl Streep, was cast partly so she could remain by his side during his final months. The studio initially wanted to fire him due to insurance concerns, but Robert De Niro personally paid his insurance out of pocket to keep him in the film. Cazale passed away shortly after filming, making his role unforgettable. The Russian roulette myth in Vietnam. One of the most debated aspects of The Deer Hunter is the Russian roulette scenes. While iconic, there's no historical evidence that prisoners of war were ever forced to play Russian roulette in Vietnam. Critics accuse the movie of distorting history and fueling negative stereotypes. Cimino, however, defended the choice, saying it was meant to symbolize the psychological destruction of war. Whether fact or fiction, the sequence became one of the most memorable and controversial in film history. It's a weird mix of myth-making and raw cinematic power. Improvised bar scene became iconic. The pre-war bar scene where the friends sang "Can't Take My Eyes Off You" wasn't fully scripted. Cimino encouraged the cast to improvise their interactions to feel natural and unscripted. What resulted was a deeply authentic portrayal of friendship, laughter, and small-town life before the horrors of war tore them apart. The scene became iconic for its warmth and realism, and it works as a heartbreaking contrast to the devastation that follows. It's a perfect example of how sometimes the most memorable film moments come from spontaneous collaboration, not scripted direction. Michael Cimino's extreme directing. Director Michael Cimino was both praised and criticized for his extreme methods on set. He pushed the cast and crew to their physical and emotional limits, often running takes for hours. Some actors refused to work with him again, citing exhaustion and frustration. But Cimino believed this intensity was necessary to capture the raw realism he wanted. His demanding approach nearly derailed the production multiple times, but it also resulted in one of the most powerful war dramas in Hollywood history. It's a weird balance of brilliance and madness in filmmaking. The film almost didn't get made. The studio initially balked at the Deer Hunter's budget, length, and dark subject matter. At one point, the project was nearly canceled. Cimino had to fight hard to convince executives that audiences would connect with such a bleak story. Even after completion, test screenings were divisive, with some viewers calling it too long and depressing. But the film's critical reception and eventual box office success silenced those doubts. Today, it's remembered as one of the greatest films of the 1970s, though it came dangerously close to never existing at all. It changed Hollywood forever. When The Deer Hunter won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, it shocked Hollywood. War films had never been presented in such an emotionally raw, psychological way. The movie paved the way for future war dramas like Platoon and Full Metal Jacket. Its mix of realism, surreal symbolism, and disturbing imagery became a blueprint for filmmakers exploring the Vietnam War. While its controversial depictions remain debated, the film's impact on Hollywood storytelling is undeniable. What started as a risky, weirdly structured drama ended up reshaping how war stories are told on screen.